Hi everyone, welcome back to Moms Learn To, where there's always something new to learn, do, and pursue. I'm Sophia. Did you know that there are 18 different animal shapes in animal crackers? My favorite animal is the tiger. So when my daughters found out that my favorite animal was the tiger, they decided to pick their own favorite animals. Kristen loves pandas, Caitlin loves koalas, and Cameron chose penguins as her favorite animal. When it came time for their birthdays, I wanted to find a way to decorate their new rooms with their favorite animals. And so I did some research online, and I didn't find any art that I really liked to decorate their walls with. I really wanted the animals and the letters of their names to be merged together. So I decided to become an artist and do it myself. I made the letters on Word Art with Microsoft Word. They look something like this. And I cut out each one. And I also Googled their favorite animals online, cut them out individually. So I turned a simple canvas like this. I bought it from Amazon to look like this. Here's the name art that I did for Caitlin's. She loves all the colors of the rainbow and koalas, so that's what hers looks like. Here's the blank canvas that I'm going to use for Kristen's name art, and I'll put a link in the description box. If you can see the shadow there, that's me holding the iPad while I'm recording this, and it became very uncomfortable while I tried to organize the letters and the pandas on the canvas to see how I wanted it all to look. So once I got frustrated, I decided to research and prop it up so that I could use both of my hands. Kristen's favorite animal is the panda, so I Googled and found a bunch of different pandas that are roughly around the same style, and I cut them all out individually. It did take a lot of time, and every time I do a project similar to this, which isn't very often, I briefly consider buying one of those silhouette automatic cutting machines, but sometimes it's just nice to do it by hand. I really wanted as many pandas as possible to be on the letters of her name as much as I could. So when I was doing my research, I was like, oh, this one is on a branch, it could be the I. This one I wanted hugging the K, and this one I wanted peeking out from the N. And so that's what I did. One thing I love about arts and crafts is that there's no right or wrong way to do it, so I continue to just play around and reorganize all the different pandas until I found the perfect way for all of them to work together. So one of my favorites is definitely the panda that's sleeping on the E like that. I love that I could put them all together, and it makes it look like that the pandas and the letters were actually designed all together. I kept having trouble trying to fill in the empty space, so I decided, well, I don't have enough pandas, so now I just need to Google and find another one. Hopefully I could find one that's in the same style as the ones that I already have. So I did find another panda that was similar to all the other pandas that I found, and I'm surprised that I didn't see it before, but here I am cutting it out so that it could be part of her name art. And sometimes it's nice to do things by hand, adds a little extra love. Kristen's favorite color is green, and she picked the darkest green we had, so I decided to go ahead and paint the entire canvas dark green. And for some reason I was using the small brush, which wasn't the best idea, so later I decided to switch to a bigger brush, and I did have to wait in between coats to paint it to get it as dark as possible because the white was showing through, but it all worked out. The next step is to add the Mod Podge. I have to say this is my first project using Mod Podge, actually my second, but I was super excited to use this again, and I believe I will go back to the store and get a bunch of different other Mod Podge styles and formulas. So learning from my other lesson with the paint, I wanted to finish this a little faster, so I'm using the bigger brush to cover the canvas a little quicker with Mod Podge. I chose the satin Mod Podge because the website said that it has a soft finish, and I didn't want the canvas feel on the girl's name art, so I wanted to be as soft as possible. So that's why I chose satin, to see if I'd like it. And when I put it on Caitlin's art, I absolutely loved the feel. The canvas still felt a little rough, but the paper was super smooth, so that's what I'm using, satin. Next, I'm going to gently place the paper cutouts of the pandas and the letters of Kristen's name to gently rest on the Mod Podge. The thing I love about this is that if I need to pick anything up or move it around, then there won't be any damage done to the canvas or the letters or the pandas. It works out really well if there are any quick changes or adjustments that I need to make as I continue to build her name art. I think it's because of the amount of pandas that I have, I wasn't able to fit Kristen's name going in a diagonal line from corner to corner. So I had to make an adjustment to put it in more of a U shape, and I kind of like it. It actually looks pretty good. So here I had to adjust the T and the E because then I wouldn't have had any room for the N, and there is no damage done to the pandas or the letters once I pick them up off the Mod Podge. Oh, gotta do it to the R too. And the extra panda I found fits perfectly in that empty space. Doesn't it look great? So now that I'm happy with the layout of everything, I'm going to add a layer of Mod Podge on top of the pandas and the letters together. The thing that I love most about Mod Podge is that I don't have to glue the bottom like we used to do, you know, back in the old days with glue sticks and everything. I can just paint over it like I'm painting, and it works out wonderful. It creates one smooth, continuous layer. If you remember earlier in the video that I had Mod Podge under all of the letters and pandas, and that Mod Podge has now completely cleared, so you don't see any visible brush strokes, and that's going to be the same effect once I finish adding this layer of Mod Podge. Once it dries, you won't see any brush strokes of the Mod Podge. Whereas if you remember, with using glue sticks, you'll always see like residue of glue or streaks of glue, and that could mess up the art that you're going for. There's really no direct science to using Mod Podge. You can use as little or as much as you want, and I just put a whole lot on the top layer of this word art. For one, I didn't want the Mod Podge to go to waste because I actually put quite a bit in my little cup here. And two, I just wanted it to be as smooth and feel like one big piece. I didn't want it to feel any different textures or anything. So the more I put on it, the smoother it felt. While Kristen's word art was drying, I decided to use the rest of the Mod Podge on the artwork that the girls had painted earlier so that I could use it up and not waste it. Some of these are actually on the girls' YouTube channel, and I'll put that in the description box as well. While we're waiting for the word art to dry, I wanted to show you what the canvas sounds like with a Mod Podge layer and without a Mod Podge layer. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and remember moms, you can do it too. Adios!